Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Always down and ready to ride. One by 1 billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for Hello. Oh, no, it's a zit. I was like, oh, you got lipstick on your face. No, you don't. I hope everybody's doing well. If you got just here from the premiere, thank you so much. If you don't know what we're talking about, we just finished a premiere video that just dropped on the channel, and it is quite a doozy, if I do say so myself. I hope that everybody's doing well tonight. Like I said, I would love to hear what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. What was that? Oh, shit. It's a dress, Courtney. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate that. And most of my favorite tops are dresses. I mean, if you don't like the top of the dress, what are you gonna like about it? I guess the bottom. But ooh, hamburger extra smashed with salad. That sounds delightful. Beef stroganoff. Oh, you guys might hear my voice is a little bit off. That is, I was not feeling very well yesterday, and it continues. I feel better, but I can hear a difference in my voice. But the show must go on. And do we ever have a show tonight? We do indeed. We have at least one, if not more TPOs. We'll see how it goes. As we know, I don't always do my research ahead of time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Oh, before we start for this evening, I would like to start with a funny little anecdote. Also, a great disclaimer. I don't check my email very well. Sorry, ADHD and all. And so it's not a super reliable way of getting in touch with me. And today I was looking for something in my email, and I happened upon some unopened emails from my dad that were forwards from my mom last year. And somehow she got into her mind, like they got a notice from the ISP, the internet service provider, that somebody had like copyright infringed at the ISP. And she was convinced it was my channel. She called it an illegal YouTube channel. Now keep in mind, this was last August. I obviously didn't read the email, didn't do anything different, didn't change anything. And I laughed because she runs an Airbnb from that place, which she lets people use the internet all the time, unfettered. So legally, it's not me, right? And also, like, I'm not copyright infringing with the court. Like, that's the other problem. It's like, you can't even get the basics right. But it just reinforced why I'm glad that, yeah, I'll take the blame. I don't talk to my mom that much. Anyways, okay, so without further ado.
Morning, please be seated.
Oh, yes, we are back with Stevie, the Birdman. Let's just talk about this for a minute. Who in their God-forsaken mind uses a picture of what looks to be a fresh tattoo, right? Like, it's red. So that implies that you don't have a fresher photo, or like a regular photo of it, a more healed photo. Ooh, beef teriyaki. That's pretty good though, Grim. I would take that. I haven't eaten. I'm going to be honest. I haven't eaten. I didn't eat yesterday. I haven't eaten today. I've had coffee, but Yeah. Is it? We watched one of them. One of the cases we already covered where the lady was talking about her intimates. That was a video that premiered on the channel on Monday. But there's a translator case, and I'm going to tell you right now, this lady is one of the best translators I've ever seen. Right? Like it screams psycho. Yeah. So we're just going to scrub through here of Judge. What is this judge's name? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Here we go. These people. Also, are sunglasses in court okay? I'm asking for a friend.
Okay. And I was after I watched. Oh, I hear.
I went too far forward. Here we go.
Feedback.
There we go.
Levanten la mano derecha, por favor.
Do you swear that testimony in the case today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Juran que el testimonio que darán el día de hoy será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
And now you said is that we need the audio activated.
Necesitamos que activen el audio.
Good. FC.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sí, gracias.
And is it Ms. DeMilla or Ms. DeMea?
De Maya.
¿Es de Mila o de Maya?
De Maya.
De
And
Maya.
DeMea? Ms. DeMea and Ms. Clara is your mother-in-law, is that correct?
Y la señora Clara es su suegra, ¿es correcto?
Yes.
Yes. Sí.
Ms. Clara, I understand that I believe it was you who observed Mr. Elliott peering in your window.
Señora Clara, tengo entendido que fue usted la que observó al señor Elliott mirando por su ventana.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Platíqueme al respecto.
El día 16 en la noche a las no, usualmente llegué de la de la iglesia y estaba en mi casa. A las 9:15 comencé a pintarme el pelo porque tenía que trabajar al siguiente día. Y cuando terminé de lavarme el pelo, estaba secándome el pelo y cuando me estaba secando el pelo, yo tenía un audio en
Permítame
YouTube.
interpretar.
Claro que sí. Claro que sí.
On the 16th at night, after I got home from church, it was around 9:15 p.m. and I was dyeing my hair because I had to work the next day. And I was, after I washed my hair, I was drying my hair and I had this audio on. Continúe.
Estaba oyendo un audio de un sacerdote y estaba escuchando de Dios. Y entonces, eran las 10, las 11 cuando me estaba lavando el pelo, secando el pelo, y eran las 10:30 cuando estaba terminando de secarme el pelo. Y escuché alrededor.
Permítame.
Sí, claro que sí.
So I was listening to an audio about a priest. I was listening to stuff about God, and it was 11 o'clock when I was drying my hair. It was 10:30 when I was finishing drying my hair. Continúe.
Cuando estaba terminando, que eran como las 10:30, las 11:30 de la noche, escuché por la ventana del baño que como ruidos, pero yo no estaba cerrado, no puse más atención, seguí secándome el pelo.
Okay. And then I was finishing up with my hair around 11:30 p.m. and I heard some noise from the bathroom window, but I didn't think anything of it. Continúe.
Y seguí, o escuché más ruidos, pero me quedé pensando, oh, nada pasa, no me asusté, pero cuando terminé de secarme el pelo y estaba yo en la puerta del baño que me estaba secando el pelo porque tengo un espejo ahí, me sequé el pelo y divisé para el lado izquierdo sobre mi hombro y miré al señor que estaba
Okay,
mirándome en
permítame,
la ventana.
Okay, permítame. So, I heard the noise, but I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't scared. I wasn't concerned. But then I was drying my hair and I was looking in the mirror and then I looked over my left shoulder and I saw the reflection through the mirror and I see this man who was looking at me. Continúe.
En la sala tiene luz con sensor, entonces miré y corrí a la puerta y prendí la luz para afuera.
So the living room has a light that goes off with a sensor. So I ran toward the living room and I turned on the light.
Y él me estaba mirando completamente. Yo abrí la puerta un poquito y le grité, le dije, ¿qué estás buscando?
So he was looking at me. He was just staring at me. So then I opened the door and I said, "What are you looking for?"
Y me dijo que era mi vecino, que estaba mirando que no pasara nada. Le dije, yo nunca lo había mirado al vecino. Lo había visto, pero lejos, nunca lo había visto de cerca. No lo conozco, no sé ni cómo es. Me quedé paniqueada completamente.
Okay. And he was my neighbor, but I don't know him. He was just said that he was there to see that there was nothing going on, and I'd seen him around from a distance, but I don't know him. I don't know how he is.
Cuando me dijo eso, yo dije, ¿qué vecino? Le pregunté, ¿o qué pasó en la mañana en tu casa? ¿Pasó la ambulancia? ¿Pasaron los bomberos para tu casa? ¿Pasó algo? Y me dijo, mi tía se rompió un hueso.
So he said he was my neighbor, and I said, "Oh, so what happened at your house?" And he said, "Oh, because there was an ambulance and first responders." And he said, "My aunt broke a bone."
Cuando me dijo eso, cerré la puerta rapidito y laqué toda la puerta y me metí corriendo. Dije, oh, no, esto no puede ser aquí.
And then when he said that, I just shut the door. I locked myself in. I said, "Oh, no, this isn't happening here."
Y escuché mucho el ruido porque el ruido estaba pasando en la puerta. Tengo unas escaleras de plástico y escuché cuando alguien se estaba subiendo por las escaleras. Es por eso que me quedé frisada. Dije, ¿qué estaba haciendo alguien mirándome por la otra ventanita que está al lado de la puerta? Y fue cuando lo miré, yo dije, Dios mío, me asusté tanto que dije, ¿quién es este hombre que está mirándome aquí enfrente de mí?
Okay, permítame.
Claro que
and and I could hear the noise by the door because there's some like a step stool or ladder that's plastic, so I could hear somebody going up those steps. And there was somebody looking at me through the small window by the door, and I just froze and I panicked.
encerré la puerta y fui a mi cuarto corriendo, agarré mi teléfono y dije, no sabía qué hacer. Me paniqué, me quedé frustrada y comencé a orar porque tenía mucho miedo. Estaba
Permítame.
llorando.
I closed the door and I went to my bedroom and I was really scared. I was really panicked. I took the phone. I didn't know what to do. I started praying because I was really scared. I was crying. Continúa.
Y fui y salí a la sala y prendí las luces grandes de afuera, pero yo no miré para afuera. Yo me metí en mi cuarto, cerré y puse una mesa.
Okay. And then
Sí.
I went out to the living room. I turned the outside lights on. I left them on. Then I locked myself in my room. I barricaded myself with a table. Continúe.
Pensé hablarle a Leslie, pero no me quedé pensando, si sale, tiene los bebés, tiene 2 bebés, y me quedé paniqueada. Dije, si sale ella, la puede agarrar, y yo me quedé, no le voy a hablar, y me quedé, y dije, si le hablo a mi hijo estaba trabajando en la base, y yo dije, mi hijo, ¿cómo va a venir corriendo ahorita manejando? Me quedé prosada completamente, y yo dije, oh, y me quedé en mi cuarto, ahí dije, yo no podía dormir, tenía miedo.
Permítame. So then I thought, what do I do? Do I call Leslie? But then I thought if she comes, she's going to have to bring the 2 babies. And what if she comes over and he gets her? So I didn't call her. And I considered calling my son who was at the base. Then I thought, what's he going to do? Is he going to just like come running over here? I was just completely frozen and panicked. I didn't know what to do.
And no.
Yeah, wouldn't that be the right time to call 911? Also, we're going to come to learn here that they live on the same property. Leslie, the daughter here, and her mother in different houses. But seriously, Thurston County, please never change, right? An absolute just clusterfuck. A clusterfuck.
Pude dormir toda la noche, estuve despierta, estaba llorando, despierta, y amaneciendo me vine corriendo a decirle a ella, me vine a decirle a ella que lo que me había pasado y quién
Okay.
estaba.
I was unable to sleep. I was crying all night, unable to sleep. And then when it was light out, then I went to tell her what had happened, what I'd seen.
Señora Clara, un momento, por favor.
Claro que sí.
Has this ever happened before with Mr. Elliott?
¿Esto ha pasado antes con el señor Elliott?
Yo había escuchado muchos ruidos y yo le dije a mi hijo, escucho ruidos alrededor de la casa, fuertes, los ruidos como caminan, pero usualmente hay animales que caminan como los venados o las racunes.
I had heard noises around the house, and I told my son about it, but I thought it was deer or raccoon or something.
When you turned on the light, where did you see Mr. Elliott standing?
Cuando usted prendió la luz, ¿a dónde vio al señor Elliott?
Estaba parado del lado, la casa está enfrente al lado izquierdo, estaba parado debajo de la luz, mirándome nomás así, mirándome mirándome con una mirada media, no sé.
So he was standing in front of the house on the left-hand side under the light, and he was just staring at me with this look. I don't know. He had this look in his eye.
And why did you think that he was looking in the window on the door?
¿Y por qué es que piensa usted que él estaba viéndola por la ventana de la puerta?
Porque me estaba viendo, yo estaba secándome el pelo y él me estaba mirando cuando miré la cara de él, que estaba estirando la cabeza a la puerta porque no tiene, es un cuadro de la puerta que no tiene cortina, y yo miré los ojos que me estaba mirando ahí.
Because I saw him that he was looking at me. He was there is a glass square that's not covered by a curtain, and I saw him looking at me.
And does that mean then he was standing right at your door, or was he standing in the same place when you saw him outside the house?
¿Eso quiere decir que en algún momento él estaba parado ahí enfrente de su puerta, o él estaba parado a distancia donde lo vio fuera de su casa?
No, estaba en la puerta, recargado sobre la pared, mirando para adentro.
He was at the door, leaning up against the wall, peering in.
All right. And was that the same place you said you saw him when you turned on the outside lights?
¿Y es el mismo sitio donde usted lo vio cuando prendió las luces de afuera?
Correcto.
Yes, that's right.
And do you have steps to get up to your front door, or is it just a walkway that comes up to your front door?
¿Y hay escalones para subir a su entrada principal de enfrente o nada más es banqueta?
No, sí hay escaleras enfrente de la puerta,
There's steps in front of the door,
pero no son altas, no son altas.
but it's not a very high. They're not very high.
And has Mr. Elliott ever come over to your house before, to your knowledge?
¿Y el señor Elliot alguna vez ha ido a su casa, a su mejor saber y entender?
Nunca lo he mirado.
I have never seen him.
Do you recognize him as a neighbor?
¿Pero lo reconoce como vecino?
No, porque nunca lo he mirado.
No, because I haven't seen him.
Well, I didn't hear that, Ms. Rodriguez.
No, because I had not seen him.
Okay, so this is the first time you saw him.
¿Esta es la primera vez que usted lo vio?
Sí, pero he
Yes.
escuchado muchos ruidos y ruidos fuertes como si alguien estuviera caminando. Por eso un día le dije a mi hijo eso, que tenía miedo porque pero me dijo, son animales, mamá.
But I'd heard many noises before, like there was somebody out there walking, and that's why I told my son that I was fearful. And he said, well, it's probably just wildlife that's out there.
And how did you identify that it was Mr. Elliott who that person was?
¿Y cómo fue que usted identificó que esa persona que estaba afuera era el señor Elliot?
Porque cuando yo caminé hacia la puerta, cuando lo miré caminar hacia la puerta y prendí la luz rapidito y ahí hice un espacio, nomás abrí poquitito la puerta y le grité, ¿qué estás buscando? Y lo miré a los ojos, le dije, ¿qué estás buscando? Y fuerte le dije.
Permítame. Because when I walked to the door, I just opened the door, just a gap, and I turned on the light and I opened the door just slightly, and I saw him. I saw his face, and I said, "What is it that you're looking for here?"
And if you haven't seen him before, how did you know who he was?
Pero si usted no lo había visto antes, ¿cómo es que usted supo quién era él?
Porque cuando yo le dije, ¿qué estás buscando? Me dijo, soy tu vecino, que estoy revisando que nada esté pasando aquí. Y yo dije,
Because when
"Sí".
I yelled at him and I said, "What are you after?" He said, "I'm your neighbor, and I just came over to see that there's nothing happening here."
Y mi sorpresa fue porque a las 11:30 de la noche y caminando a esa hora, si alguien quiere chequearte, te va a chequear más temprano, ¿no? O te va a decir, voy a revisar alrededor de tu casa, que no te preocupes.
And what really surprised me is that it was 11:30 at night, and he was walking around. If he was truly concerned and wanted to check up on whether there was something occurring, he would have indicated that he was going to take a walk around the property or something.
And Senora Clara, is the person sitting in the courtroom the person who appeared at your door that night?
Y señora Clara, la persona que está en la sala de tribunal es la persona que se presentó a su casa esa noche.
Sí, es el vecino.
Yes, it's the neighbor.
And when you were speaking that night, were you speaking in English or speaking in Spanish?
Y cuando estaban hablando esa noche, cuando usted le habló esa noche, ¿le habló en inglés o en español?
Yo le hablé en inglés.
I spoke to him in English.
And
Porque
could
sé
you
poco, son unas palabras no las sé, pero un poco yo sé.
Because I know some. There's some words I don't know, but I do speak some.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And Ms. DeMea,
Yes.
do you have anything you want to add?
Señora de Mella, ¿hay algo que quiera usted agregar?
Le quería decir algo, por favor.
I wanted to say one more thing, please.
Un momento. Ms. DeMea, anything you want to add?
Señora de Mella, ¿algo que quiera usted agregar?
Yes, we used to let him on the property to cut wood, and we've never had any bad interactions with him until this evening that all this happened. And now the any trust that we had with him has been completely broken, and especially
If the interpreter may interpret. Y antes lo dejábamos pasar a la propiedad para cortar madera, pero teníamos poca interacción con él y luego que esto ha sucedido, hemos perdido toda confianza en él. Please continue.
so he's broken all of our trust, and finding out his background, we feel very unsafe now at our home.
Se ha roto esa confianza, se ha quebrantado la confianza y sabiendo sus antecedentes nos sentimos bastante inseguros en nuestro hogar.
Ms. DeMea, do you live in the same home as Ms. Clara?
We
Señora
live,
de Mella, ¿usted vive en la misma casa que la señora Clara?
we live in the main home, and she lives in the guest home on our property.
Vivimos en la casa principal y ella vive en la casa de huéspedes.
I want to talk about a humble brag. She lives in the guest home. Okay. Also, yes, this is my new clicker. It's an old. I found it in a drawer here. To be clear. Look at what terrible things that does to my coloring, though. While this is in focus, I look like I have leprosy and I'm sick. Oh my God. Anyways, I really like it because it clicks.
De la propiedad.
And both have the same address?
¿Ambas tienen la misma dirección? Sí.
Oh no, to be clear, I have 2 guest homes. I mean, tenants, really, if you want to call them. No guest homes.
And you're not indicating that Mr. Elliott also looked in the window of the main home where you reside, are you?
Y no está indicando usted que el señor Elliott haya estado viendo adentro de la ventana de la propiedad principal, ¿o sí?
No, we have dogs, and they would start barking if he was near the home. And Sabina has no dogs at her house.
No, nosotros tenemos perros que hubieran ladrado si él se acercara a la casa principal. Sabina no tiene perros.
And
You think that's her mother-in-law? They look alike a little bit, but you would catch yourself saying mom. Sabina would not roll off the tongue if that was her mother. This is her mother-in-law. I'm calling that.
so the reason you filed your petition is because of what occurred at Ms. Clara's residence, and you just don't want that to occur at your residence, is that correct?
Y el motivo por que usted presentó su demanda es porque no quiere que ocurra lo que sucedió en la casa de la señora Clara, ¿es correcto?
Yes.
Sí.
Thank you. Mr. Elliott.
Sure.
Señor Elliott.
What happened was, it was 9:30, because I was working on my Chevy inside the garage.
Okay, hold on a second. So make sure you speak loud enough because Ms. Rodriguez is going to then have to interpret. So just use in maybe 3 or 4 sentences.
All right, so anyways, it was 9:30 at night. I was working on my Chevy and I sat down to take a break, and I sat down in my chair. She happened to be in
Eran
the
las
building. Sorry.
9:30 de la noche, estaba trabajando en mi Chevy, me senté para tomar un descanso.
And she had lights on, and I seen her looking out the window. It looked like she was looking at me, and I was like, well, I've introduced myself to the owners of the house. And I didn't know who she.
Tenía las luces prendidas, me estaba mirando ella por la ventana, entonces me acerqué para presentarme.
So I walked over there to the front door, 2 steps. They're on the front window. It's a window with a bunch of squares, but it's an open window. And the window, and then there's a window right next to it that's open.
Okay, so first thing I want to point out is this is where the translation service loses for me. This should be being done simultaneously. There's a way to do that on Zoom so that the translator can do it almost in real time and we wouldn't have to hear it. Also, in this case, I've already seen this case. I watched it live as it happened. And I remember thinking her story was a little bit weird. As I heard him talk, I thought, oh, he's fucked just because of his demeanor and how he puts himself across. But I don't think he's actually, I don't necessarily think he had any ill will. I know. Well, I didn't cheat on all of it. I watched part of this. Well, I know I watched this whole case, but yeah, I just think, I don't know. Well, why don't you just let it play, Pace, and then we'll see.
And she was looking out.
Y así que me acerqué, subí los escalones para la puerta de enfrente y miré por la ventana. Es una puerta que tiene cuadros, pero estaba abierto.
And she couldn't see me, so I was waving my arm by the window so she see my arm. So she didn't get afraid.
Estaba gesticulando con el brazo para que ella viera mi brazo, para que no tuviera miedo.
She opened the door, and I was like, I've introduced myself to, I don't know if it's your son or your daughter, but I've introduced myself to him. So I figured I'd introduce myself to you.
Ella abrió la puerta, yo le dije, me presenté con tu hija o tu hijo y no me había presentado contigo.
Oh, no, you misunderstand me, Bill. It would be the same translator. There's just a way to do it where the translator box and the people that need translation are able to hear it at the same time as the translator is listening to the English that she needs to translate. So it's still a certified translator. It's still completely legal. It just won't be on the record. And guess what? Spanish isn't on the record anyways, because we really can't expect transcriptionists or court transcribers, court reporters to know another language, right? They would just say other language if they were transcribing this and heard it. Seriously, that's literally what would happen. So there's no problem with using the Zoom translation service. I'm sure they've worked very hard on it. And I know many courts do it really well, where the person who's hearing it is getting it at the same time. It doesn't slow down all the process. It's great. Yeah, Larry Beaver can translate 3 languages all at the same time.
Así que me quería presentar para que supieras quién soy.
So my name is James, and because I get along with either your son or your daughter, I just want to let you know that I'm your neighbor. And just like I told them, if there's anything that either bothers you or something that you need help with, I said I'll be there in a heartbeat. I said because
y le dije, porque ya me llevo con su hija o hijo, quiero que sepas, si cualquier cosa sucede o necesita cualquier cosa, yo vengo en un abrir y cerrar de ojos.
And she then asked me about the ambulance and stuff, because my aunt's 83 years old, and because she can't see and stuff, I'm there.
The interpreter will request repetition. She asked me about what?
If you'll take your hand away from your mouth.
She asked me about the ambulance and the fire truck that she's seen.
Me preguntó ella sobre la ambulancia y el camión de bomberos que había visto.
And because my aunt is 83 years old, I'm there to help her. I'm basically her caretaker because she can't see, and she's fallen 5 times in the past 3 months. So the ambulance has been there more than just once.
Y porque mi tía tiene 83 años de edad, yo soy su ayudante, soy su cuidador y se ha caído y la ambulancia ha estado ahí 5 veces en los últimos meses.
And she said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Other than that, I just want to come over and introduce myself like I did." I said, "So if there's anything ever, just let me know, and I'll come over and help if I can." And I walked back over to the garage.
Y entonces dijo, ok, y le dije, si hay cualquier cosa, solo quería venir para presentarme y si hay algo que se ofrezca o necesite, pues yo puedo estar al pendiente. Y entonces caminé hacia el garage.
And once I was over in the garage, that's when, where I've never seen lights like this, but it lit up like, it lit up the whole, it was impressive. It was a big light show. But that's
Ay,
exactly what.
yo nunca había visto luces.
Yeah, maybe I was swayed by him being it translated, so I was like giving him the benefit of the doubt. I'm just getting the vibe that what he said was she turned on a very bright light. The light was in fact so bright that I was reminded of a light show that would cost a lot of money. This scared me. Now, as I think about that, were you like casing the joint? Like, why did you? It was weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. I'm a little weirded out now. Well, maybe that's why I'm not a judge.
Así, prendió luces, era un gran espectáculo de luces.
All right, thank you, Mr. Elliott.
Yeah, well, and
Okay, gracias, señor Elliott.
Because I went to jail, I didn't take offense to that one bit. I went there. They released me because there was no charges of anything, which I'm totally fine. She got scared. I can understand that. So I went to jail, but also I was released. I have no anger towards her or the other two whatsoever. So
y porque yo fui a la cárcel, ella estaba asustada, pero no hubieron cargos, me soltaron y yo no tengo nada de ira o enojo hacia ella.
Hold on. Somebody called the cops because he went to jail. Now, did he have a warrant or something else that kept him to jail? And that's why they mentioned his past? Because she didn't talk at all about calling the police. At no point have we heard, we phoned the police, they came by, they took him. We didn't even hear, oh, they came by and they said, no, you're going to have to file for a civil protection order. I mean, we didn't even, what's going on? This case is all fucked up. Also, I'm getting a little bit hungry, which is good and bad, because whenever I'm healing from being sick, I always want to eat food that I don't cook for some reason. Like, cooking is the last thing I want to do. Eating, I want to do before I cook. Oh, Jim, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Where's my thank you? I saw your comment yesterday, by the way. You made me laugh. So I guess somebody else called the cops. Somebody called the cops. I don't know. Thank you again, Jim. Appreciate you so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I want wonton soup.
O las otras dos personas.
And if they lost all their trust in me, that's totally fine. But my aunt, she needs me there. So I have no hate against them whatsoever. I have nothing but respect for them. But my aunt though, she she I've never been here before with the neighbors that the owner lived there before. I even helped do the work around the house and I helped them put this bead.
Okay, the interpreter will interpret. Y si han perdido toda confianza.
Interpreter lady, interpret this. Thank you for being a member for 2 months, being part of our 2K club. 2K by the end of May, you guys. I'm hoping. Also, I would love to DoorDash. I will not DoorDash food. It is so expensive to DoorDash food here. Honestly, it's just very expensive to eat out here. Like minimum to eat at a Chinese restaurant would be like $35, $40 for one person. So, yeah. Even the Chinese buffet, which I wouldn't go to because I'm sick. But the sauteed onions actually sound good. Weirdly enough, I love sauteed onions. And I do have wontons. I have 1 pack of wontons that I made. Nightville. I make wonton soup in a big batch, and I made a thing of you have to eat half your food, right? No, I don't think so. Usually it's But anyways, I made wonton soup in a large batch, and I am down to my last 8 wontons, but perhaps I could eat those. And yes, that is Canadian Monopoly money, but guess what? I don't know how to explain the conversion. It's like everything's so expensive here, but also $1 is more expensive here, so it's just hard. And honestly, Loud, I get that too. Like, what for me, living in the city and when I had a car that I used all the time, I would just get my own food. But I liked the ordering on the app to avoid interaction with people. But then, because I actually like interaction with people, I just don't like explaining what I want to eat to people. That's what I realized. I like to order food online because that's a weird thing for me, but I like to talk to people. So of course I go to the restaurant early and I sit there and talk to people. And I ended up talking to a bunch of different like owners of restaurants. And they were like, if you don't use DoorDash, like it's way better for us. Like if you just call us and say, hey, can I get, like it was the pho guy. I remember he was just like, hey, if you want this, like you could just call us and get it. And like, it's way better for the restaurant, like for us in the long run, especially if you're going to pick it up. And I was just like, yeah, bro, I will do that for you. I will do that for you. So with a lot of restaurants that I use, I haven't eaten out in months, to be honest with you. But a lot of restaurants, I'll just call now and just get over my food shame. And yes, that is exactly what I get for living in Soviet socialist states. Also, I have delivered for DoorDash before, back in the day. So I've done it. Like people here order DoorDash constantly. And they usually tip pretty good, but it's very expensive for gas. Like gas is like $8 a gallon here. So it really doesn't work out very well unless you have an electric car.
En mí, lo entiendo, pero mi tía me necesita ahí. Yo tengo 0 odio por ello, es más, los respeto. Pero mi tía, ella me necesita. y ella nunca, bueno, ayudé a construir ahí en la propiedad, les ayudé y hay un salón de belleza que está en el cerro.
There were neighbors. I'm not a teenage kid. I never once peeped into their windows or anything like that.
Yeah, I live in a university town too, but I'll tell you something, delivering to the university was the fucking worst because it's like a huge campus and it's not a good, it was the worst. I used to not take deliveries there. The best place to deliver is like the super rich part of town. I think the best tip I ever got while doing DoorDash was like $40 or $50. One time, this old man gave me $10 cash, which was really nice. I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And immediately put gas in my car with it. Yeah, it was a super nice house. It was on what we call Beach Drive, which, well, that's the actual road name, but it's also the beach road where you can drive along the beach, and is a probably like a $5 million house. So in reality, not a great tip. I don't know.
It's the first time that I've seen her looking towards my direction with the lights.
Oh, last thing I'll say, when I was very sick, I thought about getting pot delivered because I was like, oh, I am really sick, but I really want my pot. And it's legal in Canada now. You can get delivery. Do you know what they wanted? I mean, these fuckers got me out of bed sick as a dog because it was, I think they wanted $19.95 delivery fee plus 18% tip plus the weed. Like, no, like literally so much money. You can get it shipped for free and wait for 3 days, or you can drive to or walk to the store. I can walk to the weed store from here. But again, like, and so I'm saying, like, delivery fees here are exorbitant. I remember just being like, I will go pick it up myself. Thank you. And you have to imagine, like, especially for somebody who's cheap or poor like me at this point, like, if I'm buying the cheapest ounce of weed I can probably find, it might be $100. Well, you're asking me to pay $30 of fees? No, that's insane. Anyway. Also, $100 for an ounce of weed is really cheap. It really is. That's at the government weed store.
So that's when I figured introduce myself, and that.
Son mis vecinos. Yo nunca tienen un joven un joven de 18 años. Yo nunca me había puesto a ver por su ventana, pero vi que ella me estaba mirando a mí y me fui a presentar con ella.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
I know I have a record bill on this. It's I mean, I've been there for 2 years now, and I've had to take her into the hospital. But the ambulances and stuff to come over there a few times to help pick her up off the ground because she's a big lady, and I was able to do it myself, just like this last time.
Tengo récord, pero he estado ahí con mi tía 2 años y varias veces hemos tenido que llevarla al hospital en ambulancia porque se ha caído. Es una señora muy grande y yo solo no he podido levantarla del suelo.
Is your house, are you the immediate neighbor to?
What is they're on?
Okay,
okay. Oh, sorry.
¿Es usted vecino inmediato?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe they're on 6 acres. Yeah, my aunt has 6 acres herself. So in between Rainier and Tenino, it's the river where the kids go swimming during the summertime. Anyways,
ellos tienen 6 acres y mi tía tiene 6 acres. y es junto al río donde los niños van a nadar en el verano.
And take a right, it's their house, and then you go up the driveway, and then it's my aunt's house. And where we live, the walking trails where my aunt's property is, it divides it to, you can either walk into Olympia or Lacey Olympia, or you can go towards Tenant.
Y la entrada, el sendero de la entrada es de ellos, y luego de ahí se divide y es donde está la propiedad de mi tía. Y hay diferentes senderos y hay un punto donde se divide y puede caminar hacia Olympia o Lacey.
Is your aunt's house immediately next door to Ms. Clara's
They're
house?
next door. They're not next door. No. It's
La casa de su tía.
Hold on.
La casa de su tía está de inmediatamente adjunta a la casa de la señora Clara.
no, they're, you put me about a quarter way down the driveway, it's their house. And then you keep going, it goes uphill, it goes uphill, it flattens out, and then it's my aunt's house. So basically their house is here and my aunt's house is up here. It's
The interpreters is having a difficult time hearing Mr. Elliott. My apologies, Your Honor. If the interpreter may request a repetition.
I'm going to ask a different question. Are there any houses between your house and, just yes or no, are there any houses between your house and Ms. Clara's
No.
house?
¿Hay casas entre la casa suya y la casa de la señora Clara? ¿Sí o no?
Okay. And the answer was
No.
no.
La respuesta fue no.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Oh, yeah, now he fills out paperwork for a while. I'm going to scrub.
50 yards, 75, somewhere around there.
Thank you.
50, 75 yardas por ahí.
And it's
Okay, okay. All right. I think I'm finished.
I'm finished. We want the baby to testify. The baby should speak. The baby should speak. Oh, we're calling him Judge Dead Air. Judge Dead Air. Because I would be cutting all of this from the video. Cutting it all if I could.
All right. I think I'm finished.
But instead.
Donde esto habría su
Participant in that.
Here we go.
As to the petition submitted by Ms. Demea, I will deny the request for the order on that petition.
En cuanto a la petición emitida por la señora de Mella, denegaré la petición.
First one denied, Donna. But Donna, thank you so much. 5 gifted membership. Do. Oh my God. I am clumsy today. Thank you so much, Miss Donna. Seriously, guys, reminder, members only on Sundays. What do you think? Is this guy? So it's being denied when it comes to the daughter-in-law. Just press play, Paisley. Thanks again, Miss Donna.
Ms. DeMea just lives on the property, but the actions that were of concern regarding Mr. Elliott were not at all directed to Ms. DeMea, and she was not a participant in that.
Ella vive en esa propiedad, sin embargo, la demanda y las acciones que fueron preocupantes no fueron dirigidas a ella, ella solamente vive en esa propiedad.
As to Ms. Clara's request for a protection order, I will grant that.
En cuanto a la petición de la señora Clara para una orden de alejamiento, esa sí la concederé.
Since it was in.
How was my shocked face? No. Granted? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I think it was pretty good.
Her portion of the dwelling units on the property that this occurred.
Ya que esto fue en la porción de la vivienda donde esto habría sucedido.
Claro que sí, la necesito.
Yes, of course, I need that.
And I find that Mr. Elliott's explanation that he came by to introduce himself at 9:30 after dark on an April evening, disingenuous.
Y me parece no genuina la explicación que ha dado el señor Elliott, que se vino a presentar a las 9:30 de la noche, una noche de abril.
No fue a las
Since Mr.
9:40.
Mr. Elliott resides at the adjoining property, I won't prohibit him from living there.
Por vivir en la propiedad adjunta, el señor Elliott, no le prohibiré que viva ahí.
But Mr. Elliott, you are not to go on to Ms. Clara's property at all.
Pero señor Elliott, usted no ha de pisar la propiedad de la señora Clara en lo
You're not
absoluto.
100 feet of the dwelling unit.
Oh, Paisley, don't even ask this question. You're just going to open a can of worms. Are you allowed to own a weapon in every U.S. state?
That cut out, Your Honor, how many feet?
100.
No se acercará a menos de 100 pies de la vivienda.
You're not to have any contact with the minor children that reside on the property.
No tendrá contacto con los menores de edad que viven en esa propiedad.
You're to have no contact with Ms. Clara, whether she's on the property or off the property. You're not to have any contact with her anywhere she is.
No deberá tener usted contacto con la señora Clara, esté ella o no en la propiedad. No deberá tener ningún contacto con ella, donde quiera que ella se encuentre.
We will provide Mr. Elliott a copy of this order.
Le otorgaremos al señor Elliott una copia de esta orden judicial.
And Ms. Clara, this order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date. If you need to have it renewed, you'll have to come back to court and make that request.
Señora Clara, esta orden de alejamiento será válida por 1 año a partir de la fecha de esta petición. Si la querrá usted renovar, tendrá que regresar al tribunal.
And a copy of the order is available to you in your district court file.
Y una copia de la orden judicial estará a su disposición en la carpeta de la Corte Distrital.
Printer sound.
Eso es todo, señora. Gracias.
Eso es todo por hoy.
Gracias por darme esa oportunidad y le pido de todo corazón. Vivo en pánico ahorita, no puedo estar bien. Cada ruido que escucho me da terror y pánico y quiero llorar y estar. No puedo salir ni del carro porque estoy paniqueada. Llego a las 9:30 de la noche y tengo miedo, pánico de mi casa.
Thank you for the opportunity, Your Honor. Every noise that I hear just, throws me into a panic. I'm even afraid to get out of my car when I get home at 9:30 at night. I'm just panicked.
All right. Well, I've entered the order today.
Bueno, he presentado la orden el día de hoy.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
De nada. Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Buen
Thank
día.
you, Your Honor.
Gracias por
Igualmente.
la interpretación.
Gracias. Hasta pronto.
Hasta
I
pronto.
feel like if that
Gracias.
dude had
Mr.
a,
Elliott, there's your copy and yours. Free to go.
I feel like if that dude had a lawyer, that wouldn't have happened. I'm not sure that that necessarily was meant to be put in place.
Willow Dupelchain and Sarah Costa.
No, we already heard the duple chains. They were crazy. That video is already posted on the channel. It's entitled Judge, My Intimates, Naughty Neighbor Behavior. But we're not going to watch that. We're going to scrub through it. No, not my 90s. And try and find what the fuck, Steven. Oh, how did it get closer? How did Steven's gross ass picture get even closer? That video title did not deliver. Are you sure? I delivered it. Duple chain. Okay, here we go. I don't remember what fast forward noises are. Zzz? No, would that be it? I don't even know what rewind noises are these days. I do remember, like, be kind, please rewind. It looks like a crow landing on a nipple. I like that. All right, let's watch this.
Dogs and
Wait,
fence
who
have
the fuck am
been
I covering here?
seemingly the primary issue of contention between the parties.
Oh, this is still the duple chains. Oh, we can be done with the dupe. Oh, here we go. Here we go, ladies and gents. Here we fucking go. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Coker. Yeah, you too. John Snavely, Tony McNally.
Snavely.
Snavely's here.
Okay, actually, Mr. Snavely, sit tight. I thought Mr. McNally had appeared, but he hadn't. So I'm going to call the next case where we have both parties present. Ido Avery and Jesse Brown. Mr. Brown, come on up, please.
Ido? Why does that name make me want Greek food? Oh, he folded his jacket really
And
nice.
if all three of you would raise your.
Hold on. That reminds me, you guys. Wait, so Steve's not involved in this? Who the fuck is Steve? We're going to have to watch the whole rest of this damn video before we sort out who the fuck Steve is and why him and his tattoo are on this fucking call. I'm like literally baffled. But also I want Greek food now. Wow. Rapid cycling through food cravings. That is a good sign. That means I'm getting to feel better. Another thing I would never order because I'm not ordering food. But if I could, a chicken souvlaki with pita, tzatziki, rice. I would mostly eat the rice and the potatoes. It's getting down to it. I want potatoes. All right, let's watch this, please. And no, before anybody asks, I'm not pregnant.
Right hands, please. Swear the testimony in this case be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, please be seated. All right, so I read what the parties have filed, and I will let you know right up front that I can't do anything about the gate. The gate that Mr. Brown seemingly has installed on the easement road is something that if you're going to want to address as a violation of the easement, you're going to have to go to Superior Court and get an order from Superior Court regarding whether Mr. Brown has the authority to restrict access on the easement in that way. And I think that's probably the main issue here. So I want to let the parties know we're not talking about that today. The gate's there. I can't do anything about it. What I can do is regulate the interactions between the parties. And I do note that the Avenerys have expressed concern with Mr. Brown's approaches to them as they try to navigate their way through the gate, both, mostly verbally, and then also indicating their discomfort with the fact that on at least one occasion, Mr. Brown felt compelled to drop his pants and in the teenage vernacular, moon them.
Oh, that was a true shocked face. I did not expect to hear that. I've not listened to this case yet. Oh my God. I could learn a little bit from that, though. It was less in the eyes and just more a full body shock. Did he just say that? You see, and I listened to 2 of the cases on this and I didn't fucking finish. And should I have? Yeah, apparently I should have.
So I'll start with the Avenerys, understanding that's really all we're addressing is the nature of the personal relationship. Do you have anything else you want to add that you think I perhaps didn't pick up in your filings or that you haven't said yet?
Yes, it's about Brown's erupts in angry outbursts constantly. And it's his delusion mind concern us greatly and make us fear for our lives. And we share that the concern time to time with the police that James Brown need professional help. That comes to my mind.
Okay, so in your mind, does Mr. Brown have any reason to say anything to the 2 of you at all?
Did I understand? No.
Okay, all right. Mr. Brown.
Okay, so your Honor, saw. Did you get the 100?
We've seen this guy before. You guys, this guy appeared from some weird shed. I swear to God. Either here or over on Credence and Mikey, we watched them. Remember? And all the neighbors hated him? Is that who this is? Oh my God. So many illegal hearings running together that I can't keep track. Actually, I can't keep track. I have a notebook where I keep track of all the, like, this is the video breakdown for the one I premiered earlier today. So yeah, and it's almost full. I have been working it. So if somebody, see, the thing is I date them. So if somebody remembers the day of something, I can usually look back and see what my notes were. But if I don't know the day, I'm fucked.
50 pages worth of documents I sent to you, sir.
I did. Did I read every one of them?
No. Too much, I know.
Okay,
that.
so
I've just
and
got
I've narrowed the issue. We're not talking
Yes.
about the gate,
I know.
just the relationship between you and in this case, the Averys.
Yes, sir, I understand. I also want to put on there that I have a current lawsuit against them. I'm posting it today into court. And one thing I put on my response that was incorrect, my apologies for that, is that I said that in the original report, George Nivak did not pull a gun. I reread that and he did say that he did pull a gun and that was incorrect on there. I just want to correct my my verbiage on that. And also I have their attachment for what their complaints are, and I wanted to go over that minus the gate, obviously, of these points that they said and the counterpoints to them. Is that okay, sir?
How about
I
just,
mean, on your honor.
just that's okay. Just sort of summarize it.
Okay. Everything started when I first moved in. When I first moved in, Ido Avery said that he moved the beaver down off the property. And I told him that was illegal. You can't do that. It's a felony. And I'm here because I'm trying to start a nursery.
Illegal beaver dam, illegal moving of a beaver dam. We don't take that lightly here. For any of you new here, we have a channel mascot named Larry Beaver. He is in rehab currently for his wood addiction. And so he hasn't been around in a while, but we take beaver dam removal extremely seriously around here. Absolutely fucking no. The answer is no. Tear your house down and move before you touch the beaver dam. You catch my drift?
I told him at the very beginning.
You remember, I've read what's in your.
Yes, yes, sir. I've been on medication for the past 2 years, as well too, for serotonin imbalance as well. I've been perfectly balanced mentally since then, and I have not done any of that. I have not lived in that house that they said for the past 2 years. I have 2 RVs on the property, both fully functional, and they're being used for an agricultural building involving house plants, snake plants, vine plants, and also seed propagation, because I am working for a nonprofit person named Brian Colbo. I've known since Media Island when I was a teenager. And he's been seed restoration for over 10 years. Basically, that building that, because the thing I lived in, it's an agriculture building. There's also statements in here saying that I was banned from Tanana Market. I went to the Tanana Market that day of I got this. I
Remember, I read.
Yes, sir.
I
Sorry,
read that.
But many of the things, I've never screamed at him. What I said is, I have police reports. Here they are. And I even left police reports on his gate in between the things so he read them all. I've left him everything so he knows what's going on. You know, I have absolutely no interest at all doing anything criminal against these people. It terrifies me. My dad was in prison my whole life. I don't want that for my kid or my 1-2 at all. I want to start a lawsuit against these people. I'm starting a lawsuit against my neighbor, Louis Willman, as you see in the documents. That's been filed on Friday. I don't know if you saw that. I'm trying to go after these people for damages and harassment. Did you see that one paper that they put in my mailbox to the mail with this pants pulled down? That paper as well. There's been numerous other papers, and the word of that paper is very similar to the one that says "Protect Your Children" that has been circulated throughout town immensely. I've been random phone calls throughout the years regarding these, and it's made it so I was unable to obtain any kind of fulfilling jobs in my area because I've been reduced to odd jobs because I just don't want to it's a panic attack.
Yeah, because if anything I know is true, when you get blacklisted from a small town because somebody says protect your children, everybody wants to hire you to do odd jobs on their property. That's just the only job you can have. That doesn't make any sense, my bro. Like, what the F is going on here? Man, my West Coast comes out when I'm feeling sick. Bruh, why? Why you gotta be like this, bruh? My God, I know they cut the Beaver Dam down and they fucked it up, but you gotta be chill.
all stuff's going on. As you saw, the plethora of police reports that I have posted pertaining to my mailbox and things, and reports that have been proven false that has been done by neighbors, as it says. And I only have a problem with two neighbors, and that is one Lewis Woolman and Ido Avery, who know each other.
I only have a problem with two neighbors. Okay, how many neighbors do you have? Two seems like a high problem amount to me. Also, I am positive we've seen him before. I'm pretty sure he appeared from some sort of shack or shed that we discussed. I'm pretty sure now it was on Credence and Mikey. I can hear my voice changing as we're live. Oh, it's probably I guess because I'm talking. I don't know. Trying to figure that out.
And also know Diana Kremen that has been proven on paperwork Lewis Williams sent to the courts on August 29th, 2022, proving that they did know Lewis Williams and Diana Kremen, the person who is responsible for the theft of my dogs, or I should say she is in the prosecutor's office for first-degree theft of my animals, who when I first talked to him, asked him, they said, I don't know these people.
Remember, I read that in this.
I'm sorry, I forgot everything I put on there exactly. And the gate was, there's a 30-foot fence on both sides of the entrance to my property. It's not just one blocks things so they cannot go in. There's a 30-foot on both sides. On the other side, I have a small playground and a garden. It's completely inaccessible for its private property. Let's see. Sorry, just 1 second. I did moon them. Yes, I was on my property. I was off on the side because for years, I did not submit a police report and I did not get here in time to do so. Am I able to read that police report to you, sir?
You don't need to, just tell me.
On, let me make sure I get the date, 8/15/2020. Ido Avery and Joan Avery stopped in front of my property with the vehicle. The woman I was with at the time was inside the house, undressed, and he kept on calling in and trying to talk to her. She came because of the Beaver thing, we've never got along and we've just tried to not talk to him, but she had to call the police and the police said he cannot stop them from using the easement, but he cannot stop and yell at us through the easement. There's also a report done actually today, 4 years ago, May 13th, maybe it's the 14th to county, saying that my daughter, River Spires, I'm not sure if this is on the thing, was pooping by the side of the creek. My creek is.
I'm sorry, what, sir? Did he just say his daughter was pooping by the side of the creek? Holy fuck, this is too much. Am I fucked up? I mean, the answer to that is yes, I guess, but what is going on here? That not only implies that he has kids and someone mated with him, but that he has custody. Also, if you're at the creek, a young child should never be at a creek by themselves. Ever. Who the fuck? Who hasn't shit in a creek or two? Oh my God. Look at the judge's face. He's just like,
very, very private spot that's way off the road. You would have to look really hard to see her down there. She was swimming naked on there. I got this report a few weeks ago, and I did say, yes, I feel like he is pedophile because of that sort. I did not yell this to him. I just said my feelings on that matter because he was watching my, at that time, 5-year-old girls swim naked in my private creek, and then did a report to county saying that I put an outhouse in the creek and that she was pooping in the creek, and things like that.
I read that in the.
Yes, I said, well, not exactly sure. I couldn't find that. I think I did one copy for that. So 2 times, my wife said, that is not a good idea. And I agreed because I'm just terrified of getting arrested or anything illegal happening to me. And the reason I talk loud about that gate, because I don't want to get near them. I've had a bullet left in my mailbox. It's up in Lewis Wellman with the gunman. Every time I go there, I really do feel like my life is under threat. My heart races, my hands start to sweat. I just feel like something's about to happen every single time. So 2 times after I got that, I said that, and that was around the same time that my cats went missing. One night, I went to the far end of my property. I was looking for my cat. It has been gone for 2 weeks by that time. And I saw him outside, and I yelled, "Have you seen my cat?" I think it was a.
Have you seen my cat? Have you seen my cat? Have you seen my cat? I am so tempted to walk up. See, here's the thing. I'm a crazy train too, because I want to walk onto my back deck and yell, "Have you seen my cat?" But I don't think nobody out there is going to know what's going on. Only you guys here. So I may as well just pretend like I'm doing it. But I'd like to really do it.
His reply was "F you" to me. The next morning, my other cat, black cat, went missing. I didn't want this cat to just, I wasn't trying to get cats. My kid's mom said, I found these 2 cats on the side of the road. They were tiny little kittens that could hardly walk. So I said, okay, I'll take them home. My dogs and my cats got along. It was so cute. And there are indoor, outdoor cats that stayed right next to the building, the agricultural building. They had their own cat house. I had a big pillow in there. It was covered so it didn't get wet. Perfectly nice. They can come indoor and outdoor when it's cold. That day, that next morning, Ido is driving really fast down the easement. His back trunk is open and he seems kind of disarrayed. And he gets out, he goes on the other side of the thing, he shuts his trunk and he takes off really fast. And that's the last time I've ever seen of my cat. So
Okay, folks, let's stay muted, please. Okay.
Old people, don't laugh in court. You don't know when you have a hot mic, apparently. That was weird. I can see these 2. I could sit with these 2 at a cruise dinner, and they would be telling us about their crazy neighbor whose kid shits in the creek and who yells about his cat.
And because there's association with him, Diana Crimmon, and Lewis Women. Diana Crimmon was involved with the theft of my animals, and the fact that my animal Jinx went missing on September 5th. The thing is, Jinx, yes, she was a young dog, and she went to a couple of houses. She was a half newbie. She was very friendly. She just wanted the attention while I was gone. If I was gone for a little bit too long, she'd go to neighbors. But she never just left and then went up the road or anything like that. She didn't. And the kind of season it was in, it was not coyote season, and she was microchipped as well. Considering that I had past dog theft on my property with people that Ido and and Joan both know and is in communication with, I do feel that is good reasonable cause that they are associated in some form with that, considering the past actions that has been done.
Yes. Rest in peace, crazy neighbor. The good kind of crazy neighbor. That is a reference to Steve Wallace's very famous YouTube channel, I assume, Loud Elvis. But beautiful wife and crazy neighbor in a year. Terrible, terrible news for Steve. Always sending the best. He comes to my island quite a bit.
To my property and to me, and considering the plethora of letters that have been sent to the community, to my family, I haven't been able to talk to my family because everybody I talk to wants me to sell my property and to leave. And I love it there. I have an open pasture. I want to make a nursery there. I want to make a life for my family. I am in contact with PSC. I have talked to them about installing an electrical box over there. I'm talking with environmental services about getting a septic system in there. I'm talking to Advanced Septic to get my septic system put in. I'm talking to the building department as well, too. I'm finishing up my master plan where the wetlands are. I've been doing everything I need to do legally. I have no interest at all in doing anything against the law.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions.
Yes, sir.
So when the aviaries come in and out the easement, is there any reason that you have to approach their cars or any reason you have to say anything to them at all?
Not anymore. No, I won't say a single word to them again. I let them know about the court cases. I let them know.
You can't serve them the court cases that, you know.
I know I gotta give it to the court and then it's mailed to them.
Okay.
I already have one with Lewis Willem done.
Okay. All right. So you don't see any reason you have to speak to the aviaries?
I will never speak to him again, Your Honor.
Okay.
I have no interest in that.
You won't moon anybody?
No, Your Honor. And I just want to put on there, I have a police report with that.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Just going forward, that
yes,
your
sir.
clothes will stay on when you're dealing with, you know, folks on the easement.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Sure.
I am worried that me and my wife like to sunbathe nowhere near the easement at all. Is that still allowed?
Yeah. It's your property, you do what you want, but this seemed directed. Mooning means you're directed at that's directed at somebody else.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so
yes, it was
that won't happen again.
Yes, Your Honor. I won't do that again.
Wait, so is the court order going to specifically prohibit him from mooning his bare bottom? Sunbathing is fine, but you better crab walk to your house, because if your white peely wally ass turns around and anybody down there sees it, no.
And I was just trying to get them to call the police so the police could tell them you can't film off the property while I'm on my own. I should have done that better, but I can't talk to these people. There's a huge language barrier between me and Ido. I don't know what he's saying half the time. And I don't think so. I don't insult accents at all. I think accents are wonderful. It's just hard for me to understand.
Okay.
You know?
Right. So I just want to make clear you understand that dropping your pants and mooning somebody is not an appropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
And you don't see any need that you have to converse with the aviaries when they go up and down the easement.
I won't say anything to them at all. And if they want to just leave the gate open when they go, I mean, that's okay. If I'm home, so I can just shut it. If they see that I'm home and they just want to drive by, fine. I mean, it's like you have my permission to leave the gate open when you drive through without shutting it behind you, if that makes you feel better, okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Aviaries, have anything else you want to add?
Well,
I would like to know why it possibly feels right to go behind the judge as opposed to any other way. She's squeezing behind that chair. You cannot tell me there is not another exit on the other side. It's absurd. Like multiple times I see people back behind this judge. So weird. You guys are making me laugh tonight too, by the way. He'll send the daughter over to poop on the easement. Don't aim your bad words or your butt at anyone. That's a good idea too. She's like, in this court, it happens a lot, Rebecca. It's specifically this girl and sometimes a guy. And I always see it. Oh, I forgot we have 2 angles of it here. So you can see, I know that I just feel like there's got to be another exit. I don't understand it. And if not, doesn't that mean that she probably wasn't supposed to leave till the judge is done?
Many of the things that he was saying was actually a fabricating story. And Jesse Brown already threatened us in the past to shoot us. And recently he threatened us that he will cut our electricity cable because you know what it is. And about this incident 2020 is actually incorrect because Jesse and ex were having interaction on the easement, and my wife was walking on our easement and by the gate, our gate, and Jesse just jumped up and started shouting and screaming at my wife. And I went and approached Brown and asked him to stop harassing us while we are on our property. And I told him I'm going to call the police, and he said no, he's going to call the police and report that. And so he called the police. So, and the police talked to them, and then they came to us, and he talked to the ex. So the story about us parking the car is incorrect. It's absolutely incorrect. So, and then they came to us and we told our story, and yeah, and that's it.
All right, thank you.
Judge dead air. Oh, it's like he don't care. But he does. He just fills out all his paperwork first. Fuck it. We know if I'm gonna skip it, it's gonna get fucked up. So we're just gonna have to work it out. Work it out. Work it out. Judge. Dead air squarehead. Yeah, he's like SpongeBob SquarePants. Dead air squarehead. But he's not bad. It is a good time for a med check, actually, guys. A good time for a med check. Check your coffee. Mine's still warm because it's in my Bubba mug. Hashtag not a sponsor yet. And that mug keeps my stuff hot for so long. Actually, it keeps stuff really cold as well. I'll tell you what. I left the lid off the other day and I filled it with ice and a drink. And when I woke up the next morning, no lid on, ice remained, ladies and gentlemen. I challenge you to do that. You can't. Well, depends on the cup. Anyways. Yeah, high as fuck airline. I like to be higher than fuck on an airplane usually. I wouldn't recommend it for people that don't do it, but I'm pretty high all the time, so it's fine for me. I'm operate at a high level. High. Actually, my best friend who started out as one of my employees and then turned into my best friend to this day, never knew that I smoked weed when I was her boss, even though I was high all the time, every time I ever saw her. And she said that like when we hung out one of the first times and I was smoking weed, she was like, "Oh my God, you smoke weed?" And I was like, "Not only do I smoke weed, but you've never seen me not stoned." And she was like, "What?" I'm like, "No, like legitimately every single day I am high." Yeah. Gummies in an international flight. Yeah. When I fly to Florida, it takes me like,
And Mr. Brown, you had one other thing.
oh, what, Judge?
Yes, sir.
12 to 14 hours?
I put on the, I'm
Hey, no, I didn't want to pause that. I want to mute myself. God damn it, Jason.
not sure if I put on the thing, but he said that I was banned from the 10-hour market. That same day, I talked to the manager wasn't there, so I talked to the assistant manager and there was a police that was there as well, where I spoke to them with the police. And I talked to 4 people who were check out there. I go to that market all the time. I just want to say that comment that they said was completely false.
Right.
I'm not trying. I know. I'm sorry. I said that was bad wordage.
No. You had that was all in the material you submitted.
Okay. And also, I know you can't look at it because I didn't follow this one with the other police reports, but that case I was speaking of is right here, and it does comment the neighbors parking in front yelling at me. I was not there when they got there. It was my wife who was home alone, and I came, not my wife, excuse me, the lady I was dating at the time.
Okay.
She was home alone, and when he approached, and then I came home, after the fact and learned everything happened, everything. But she was there by herself when that happened. And also with the PSE, I have emails verifying that I am communicating with PSE about the electrical easement going through the property. I have no interest in killing myself at all by touching electricity in the line. I'm not stupid.
Okay.
Oh, she was confused just like I was. What is he talking about? My God. Doing drugs in an airplane bathroom is bumpy in all the wrong ways.
Sorry, I'm not. I don't do that.
Okay. All right. All right.
Sorry.
Last thing.
I'm really sorry. And when the gate, I was in there when we both came in the gate at the same time. How the police officer did say that Ido was changing his story. I have a police report in there that police says that when he said that he can request a video from Jesse, Ido started to act strangely and said never mind and dismissed it. And that was recorded on that time because I wasn't me and him just got to the gate at the same time. I was just running in to grab something fast and going, and he was grabbing a package at the same time. And I asked him, did you steal my cat? Were you involved with it? And he said, F you to me. And he got in his car and he drove backwards less and said, I wasn't doing it. He said,
No, I know.
He started to flip me off. And then like, what the hell? And I'm still walking to the house to get the thing. And he's just driving off back faster, And the police came later on and they confirmed this. And also the report that was done by George Nivak with them, he's saying that when I pushed him, it hurt his back. But in a previous report, he says that he had a bad back And also I showed that nudge to the police officer. And in that report, it says there very clear, I'm not sure if that one was in there, if you read it, that I was not interested in charging George Nivak with the crime because he
I
was
did
a
see
pawn
that.
and everything.
Yeah, I saw all that.
So I'm not trying to do anything to hurt anybody or do anything. I'm just trying to make it so I have a peaceful life and I can just be left alone.
Okay.
And as you see, the plethora documents. Sorry, sir, and that's it.
That's
I'll
okay.
stop.
All right. As I indicated, I had read the material the parties had filed, and they are community neighbors, and there's an issue with the gate, which I indicated to both parties, the gate across the easement, that this court does not have jurisdiction to make a determination on. So I can't address the issue of the gate. I can't address the nature of the contact between the parties. And in this case, I am going to enter an order directing Mr. Brown to have no contact verbally with the Avenerys. You're not to moon them. You're to have no contact with them. So if you are going to file a lawsuit against them, you have to have them served by somebody else, not you. And you can deal with them in court, but outside of that, you shouldn't say anything at all to the Avenerys. And the Avenerys, understanding that, you shouldn't say anything to Mr. Brown. But the order here is to Mr. Brown not to say anything at all to the Avenerys, and you're not to go onto their property at all.
Absolutely.
And this order will be in effect for 1 year from today's date. And if the Avenerys wish it to be renewed, you'll have to come back to court.
Please note, henceforth for 1 year, commencing May 13th, 2024 until May 13th, 2025, there shall be no mooning from the property.
Seek it to be renewed at that time. Mr. Brown is present in court, so we'll make a copy of the order for him now. And for the Avenerys, if you wish to get a copy of the order, it's available in your district court file. You can contact the court and get a copy of that.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, folks. And Mr. Brown, just sit tight. We'll get you a copy of that.
Yes, sir. Can I ask one question? Is it just a verbal, or if I go?
He's asking this question: is that no mooning anybody or just these neighbors specifically, Your Honor? A little bit of a loophole?
The store and he's at the store, do I have to run?
No, you don't have to leave. You just cannot have contact.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
fine.
say anything, can't flip them off, can't do anything. No mooning, nothing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry. And am I able to still put a restraining, file a restraining order against these two individuals? Or is that I'm unable to because of this? Because I would like to have something so they can continue to film me on my property.
We've just talked about it with the Avery's, and I've indicated to them that they shouldn't have contact with you. And if you think that they violate that going forward, and then you can always file a request. There's nothing that prohibits you from doing that.
Yes, sir.
But for now, I'm satisfied that there's not a basis for me to enter the order as of today. But if something going forward happens, you can bring that to the attention of the court.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Okay.
that. I won't talk to them.
All right. All right. Thank you, folks.
Your
Oh my
Honor.
God.
Thank you, Yana.
Where
You're welcome.
is Stephen and his tattoo?
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Are you still there?
Mr. Snavely.
Yeah.
Oh, we're here, Mr. Snavely.
You're welcome. And
I love it.
Chief Snavely and McNally. And do you have video capability there?
Yes, sir, I do. I'm talking to you on my phone.
Okay.
Steven, we want to see your tattoo. Steven.
It's like Mr. McAnally. Oops.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. McAnally was served on the 2nd of May. I don't see any appearance from Mr. McAnally today. And the temporary order that was entered on the 2nd, or that was previously entered, will go in effect. And I'll sign an order to that effect.
So I'm just curious, what will the restraining order do now?
And I'll run through that for you in just a moment. So
Okay.
sit tight.
Thank you.
Yep.
It looks like a crow to me. Landing on his nip. Maybe he has a third nipple, and this is what he put on his third nipple. This has 15 more minutes. Judge is already doing paperwork here. I can't tell if Steve is involved. Whoa! Steve, what the fuck is that?
And Mr. McAnally is a neighbor of yours, is that right?
Yeah, he lives 15 feet away from my front door. He's just directly across the hall.
Okay, all right. And John, I know you, is that right?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, how you doing?
I've been doing great.
Oh shit, I thought the guy's last name was John. I know you. This is getting weird, Judge. Does he know him via a judgely thing? Like, hey, John, I know you. Probation. Or is it, hey, John, I also live 15 feet from you in this building.
Aside from this, I've
Okay.
been loving
It's good to hear.
It does not represent the all crow name.
And you said Mr. McAnally lives right across the hall from you?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Oh my God, I've sneezed more times. Oh. I can feel myself getting congested. Steve, reveal yourself. Reveal your true self so I can go make mashed potatoes and eat and go to bed. Judge, this is such a flex to just like sit and do paperwork while everybody's waiting.
Notice this?
All right, John, I've entered the full order, and what that means is the order that you had on a temporary basis now is extended for an additional year. If you want it renewed, you'll have to come back to court and ask for it to be renewed at that time. And I've also changed the distance restriction because I think it's somewhat confusing in the temporary order since he lives directly across the hall from you. And it was the intent of the judge not to have him evicted as a result of this order. So I've said, based on what you told me, that he's 15 feet away from you. I've said he can't come within 5 feet of you. So he's got to stay away from your door and he has to stay away from you. And he's to have no contact with you wherever you are.
He's escalated a little bit since he's noticed this, and
Yep.
he walks by and jiggles my door, and he's harassing my guests, and I don't know what to do aside from move out of here, and I don't want to.
Right. Well, if he's in, I mean, you can report to law enforcement that he's violating terms of the order. So this is going to be a lot easier for them to enforce if he comes within 5 feet of your door. That is to reach your door handle, or he has contact with you, then he's in violation of the order. Now, the order doesn't say anything about your guests, and assuming your guests are not your children, so if they're just adults, those folks would have to file a protection order themselves to seek protection from Mr. McNally. But this order prohibits him from coming within 5 feet of your residence and coming within 5 feet of you at any point, and he cannot have contact with you. So if you feel like that's been violated, then you report that to law enforcement. Okay?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right. All right. And, go ahead.
What's that?
Did you have anything more?
No, I guess not.
Okay. All right. Well, a copy of this is available to you in your district court file. Because Mr. McAnally was previously served with this, I will note he does not need to be reserved. The only change I've made is to reduce the distance so that it's more enforceable, making it 5 feet instead of 100 feet, since he lives directly across the hall from you. And you may want to take a copy of this order to the landlord for the building, or the property manager for the building, or whoever is the one that sort of manages the building, so they're aware of it. Okay. All right. Thanks, John. Glad to hear you're doing well.
Thank you, Mr. Buckley.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Mr. What?
And Mr. Conifee.
Fucking Steve, bruh.
Yeah, thanks for your patience today.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Bonema. Carissa Bonema.
There's the girl back again. She was on P.
And Ms. Bonema has not appeared. And based on their failure to appear, the protection order that I previously had entered will be terminated today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Welcome. And now, just, I know you're a sharp guy, so you know this, but doesn't mean she doesn't, doesn't mean that her desire not to have you contact her
Yes,
disappears. She has made that clear by filing this request. She doesn't want you to contact her.
Yeah, that's fine. I was willing to accept whatever restraining order she wants to have. I'm done with it. So let's leave it like you said, though, and I'll leave her alone.
Okay, very good. I'm going to sign that order, and it'll be available to you. The order denying the request for the full order, I'm going to sign that, and that's available to you in your district court file. And you don't need to wait around for me just to put the signature to it. I'm going to do it right now. So thank you. Have a good day.
Take it easy. Bye.
Fly away.
Stop
Blackbird,
video.
fly away. What? Oh, that's it. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Fucking Steve was a disappointment. Sounded a bit creepy, allegedly, but we don't know. We didn't get to hear it. That's right, folks. Get your last gambles in. Hit the slots one last time if you want to lose. And remember, if you didn't see the premiere before, it's actually a really good one. Go check it out. It's got some heavy themes, but it was a definite good case. We will be back tomorrow. Reminder, tomorrow is Wild Worman Wednesday over on Credence and Mikey. So that always gets me riled up. I hope that each and every one of you have an absolutely amazing evening. I am going to go make some mashed potatoes. I think that should be my first food soiree. My brain is a little bit messy. Anyways, guys, remember, I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'll see you in the next video. Where's the button? Bye.